Good evening, everyone. Oh, hold on. Got to do my introduction big. There we are. Good evening, everyone. All right. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking you through a little bit of API, a little bit of COM programming, cross scripting. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using AutoIt script to open up some COM objects to manipulate DOM objects using JavaScript. Sound complicated? It's really not. If you're used to programming, scripting, different things, you can do multiple different languages and just kind of transition between both of them with no problems. It's not knowing the answer, it's knowing where to go get the answer. This is the thing that's going to make you the good programmer. This is the thing that's going to extend your field. Being able to program in C#, Visual Basic, JavaScript, Java, Cold Fusion, all these different languages, it's great, all right? Don't get stuck on one language. If you're in a field where you're programming apps all day long and that's all you do, perfect. Get really good at programming apps. But if you're in a field where you need to automate stuff, you need to, if you're in a help desk position or maybe like a level 2 or level 3 tier, you need to be really good at multiple different languages. That's what I'm going to show you kind of through here using our favorite thing, bots. So first thing I'm going to do is I'll use Agar because that's the game I've been playing and the reason I haven't been making videos too often. But I'll use Agar as our example. And I made a video about this, agar.io. Oops, not that one. Agar.io. Why did that pull up? Okay, cool. So, make my face mini. Raw.
He's just a little guy.
Okay, cool. So this is Agar. What we're going to do is we're going to come in here, type something in, and boom, play. Now that looks really slow for some reason. Is that my computer? Oh man, that is crawling. Okay, whatever. Close it. So, first thing we want to do, let's go ahead and create a variable. I'm going to call it IE, and this is going to equal a create, obj create, object create, and I'm going to call it oh no, it's not application, what is it? Internet Explorer dot application. Now, this right here is a COM object that I'm going to initiate, and Internet Explorer is one of those COM objects that you can do. You can also do Word, you can do Excel, you can do pretty much any program that has Microsoft components to it. That's what COM is, component. So, obj create Internet Explorer application. Not too exciting yet. I'm going to do with IE and with. So that says anything inside these two commands, with and end with, I'm just going to type dot, and it assumes that I'm going to be playing with the IE object. So dot visible equals true. And yeah, you might see me throw in colons and stuff like that. That's because I'm used to it. I am going to save this as IE underscore examples. Examples. So save it and run it. Boom, we have an internet object. This I actually have control of. It's in my variable IE. I can read it, I can play with it, I can do all kinds of cool stuff with AutoIt. So let's go ahead and do dot navigate http://agar.io. Save that, run that. We can get out to the web page. We're going to sleep for 3,000 milliseconds, and then we're going to do dot quit. So, agar 2, 3, quit. Very cool. This is where it gets tricky. To show the next part, I'm going to kill the quit. I'm just going to fire it up. We know what agar is. We know what a web page is, but this is where you're going to get into cross-scripting. This is where JavaScript and HTML come in handy. So in order for me to manipulate things on this page, I have to know what the DOM is, or what the object is inside the DOM. So this right here is a nickname. I have to type something in for my name to appear, or I can leave it blank and it would just say unnamed cell, but that's beside the point. We want to give it a name. So I'm going to right click on this and do inspect element. Again, I'm in Internet Explorer 11. I can tell that this is an input in HTML. It's a form control class, and the ID is Nick. This is a good thing. Having the ID of something, there can only be one ID of an object on a page. If you have two, then stuff breaks out. It's horrible. So, input, Nick. I'm going to create a new variable, call it txt Nick, which is going to be my text object, equals dot document dot get element by ID Nick. So this right here is the Internet Explorer object. Look at its document and initiate the JavaScript command get element by ID. Give it the variable Nick. This is the ID of the, yeah, you get it. Okay, cool. Next, I'm going to say txt Nick dot value equals awesome bot. So what that should do is type in awesome bot. Very cool. Now, the next thing that we need to do is click on Play as Guest. So we're going to right-click, inspect element, and see what information we can grab about this object. And it looks like button class btn. It is a type submit. Doesn't help me. Okay, the only discernible thing from this and all the other buttons is the fact that it's got an inner text. Sorry, not text, inner HTML of play as guest. That is the only button that appears as play as guest. Only returned one. Okay, so let's kill that. It was a button. Okay, so my new variable btn play equals dot document dot get element by tag name and button. Now this is kind of tricky because what this is going to do, oh sorry, get elements plural by tag name button. This is going to return an array of buttons. I'm not going to know which one it is, so we have to iterate through each one until we find that play as guest. So we're going to do for $B singular button in $btn play our array, do something here, dot dot dot, next. So what this says is for each one of these arrays, I want you to loop through it, and I want you to call whatever that particular object is B. So our first element is now called B. Our second element is now called B. And each time I iterate through it, I can read something about B. I'm looking for if B dot inner HTML, again JavaScript, equals play as, as guest. Oh, I need then b.click. I know that this particular button, the tag button, has a click function on it, so I'm going to initiate that click. And if. So now what I should have is the ability to hit F5, it's going to launch the website, type in the name, click the button, and off it goes. And it didn't. Why didn't it do it? Oh, I got you. Sneaky. Okay, so what happened is we did it too fast. There's no wait. The page didn't load fast. Oh, wait, hold on. No, that's not true. Text.nick value equals awesomebot. Error. Well, what was the error? Variable must be type of object. Yeah, okay. I'm right. We just did it too fast. So we're going to throw in a loop here. While ie.busy in w? No, w end. Basically, while Internet Explorer is busy, just loop. That basically stops us in place from going any further. We're going to do the same thing right after we click the button. There we go. So, hopefully that works. Ah, look at that. So it waited for us to actually have a page ready and click on it. So, that's very cool. Very cool. Now, we're going to inspect this element real quick, because I've never done the continue off of it. Well, automated it, at least. All right, so this is going to be a button, and the inner text is continue. So, while let's create a variable, is con for continue equals false. Wait, now let's call it is plain equals true. While is plain, we're going to do this. The same thing we did before for the play, we're going to now call btn continue document.get all the elements called button, and we're going to loop through them, and we're going to look for that continue button until we find it. This is going to be true. All right, delete that, come back up there. There we go. For each button in continue, if it says continue, man, continue, then b.click. So, end, well, oh, w end, and is plain equals false. So what this does is, while we set a variable called are we plain true. While plain, look for the continue buttons. Well, get the whole array of buttons, and then cycle through that until we find one that has the continue button on it. Then if we find it, click it and say is plain is false. And then we're going to .quit. So, also something you might want to know is task kill /im internet explore, no, iexplore.exe /f. Task kill space /im space in quotes iexplore.exe space /f. This is a task kill on Windows 7 Professional. It's going to kill all the processes of Internet Explorer. I had 5 of them total running. F5, away she goes, logs in. It must have found a continue button. Well, that's quite strange, isn't it? Okay. Delete that for a second. Let's F5 it. Should log us in. Right click, inspect element, find the word continue. That doesn't help at all. There we go. So the continue button's actually there. Well, that's not cool. How do we know if we died? We won't. It was just an example anyway. I can play with that later on my own time. All right, so we cycle through, play as guest, and then dot quit. We're gonna sleep that for 5 seconds. Whoa, 50 seconds. F5, open, run. I'm playing, moving around, and quit. So just a thought to automate some processes. Something that you could do is, say there's a file that you have to go out to a website and you download it all the time and you need that file to be downloaded every single day at a certain time. You could essentially write an AutoIt program, put that program on a scheduler, so it would run at, say, 5 o'clock every single day, go out to whatever website you're looking for, and go download that file that you were looking for, and have it placed in an email or have it put onto your desktop so it's there for you in the morning. So just a thought. Yeah, so that covers the cross-scripting question. Thank you, by the way. Next question was DLLs. No, it's Application Programmers Interface. Cool thing about AutoIt is it's already doing a lot of DLL calls for you in the background. That's why I love it so much, is because the send command, that's actually keyboard DLL sending. To explain what API actually is, Application Programmers Interface, it is a way of grabbing objects from the system or grabbing objects from your operating system and manipulating them through functions that are predefined. Now what I mean by that is, let's come out here to the C drive, Windows, System 32. You guys can't see it on that side. There we go. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I can zoom in. Whoa, lots of stuff. 3 main ones that you have to do are GUI, UI, oh, this is a horrible view. All right, right click, view details, 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 perfect. We're going to arrange by file type, UI, no, it's GUI. It's GUI, isn't it? It's not GUI. User? User 32, there we go, perfect. So this thing right here, user32.dll, it's got a lot of predefined stuff in it. In order to read these off, you're going to need something like a DLL dumper or some kind of DLL reader. I do not recommend any kind because I don't know which ones are ridden with viruses and people, yeah, just trust me. Do a web search, for example. User32.dll functions. Identifying functions and DLLs. Oh. For example, saying message box A, and an ANSI, blah, blah, blah. Oh, GDI is what it's called. Graphics Device Interface, not, what was I saying? Yeah, it's not GUI, it's GDI. 3 main ones that you will be playing with, the 3 main ones that AutoIt automatically does for you are kernel, user, and GDI. User 32 is the big one. This is the one that manipulates the Windows programs, does the mouse clicks for you, does the typing and everything. But to give you an idea of what it's actually doing, Excuse me. I will go into detail. User32.dll is a dynamic link library. It is basically a C++ program that's been compiled into a whole bunch of different functions. These functions are addressed and called by all these other programs, such as calculators, such as Windows itself, to create the title bar, to create the X, to create the maximize, to create the windows. Inside Windows, well, here, what we're looking at right now, this is a window, all right? This is the main part of the window that is a child of the desktop window. The desktop window is a child, the desktop window is like the main window, but it is still a child of like the kernel process. Going deeper into it, this main window right here, its title bars across here at the top, the file, edit, search, view, even though it looks like text, it's still a window. This window has a handle, it has properties, it has a specific identifier to get us to that. That's why our window info, info. Oh, come on. Info. There we go. We'll do the 60-bit version. That's why this thing here is so important. If I trap this, you can see that each one of these is getting captured. Each one has its own identifier, it's got its own class, it's got its own everything, right? It's still a window. That's why Windows operating system came to be the way it is. It's called Windows because everything inside of it is a window of something else. It's Windows. I don't know. Even the mouse itself, the cursor that you're looking at, it is a window. It has a handle, it has properties, it's got text, it's got all this different things about it. So what these dynamic link libraries do is they call upon those handles and manipulate the data inside them. Excuse me. I hope I'm not losing anybody, and I know I rant sometimes. DLL call. Let's do this. DLL open. So I'm going to create a variable called myDLL equals DLL open user32.dll. Now, it's going to know what to do. AutoIt will. So if I do MSG box 0, comma, oh, sorry, I gotta have something in there. $ my DLL, it's gonna get crazy. DLL, oh, alright, got a call there. Save that. Yeah, I want to replace it. 1. It returned true. So I've got something there. Let's see what we can manipulate. Message box A is an ANSI entry point for the message box function. Message box W is a Unicode version. You can list the function, the names, blah, 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 blah. Ah, here you go. In a variety of command line tools. For example, you can use dump bin / exports user32.dll or link / dumps blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm going to pause it for just a sec. Okay, I actually found something on AutoIt from CPP man, C++ man, anonymous. Thank you, by the way. Okay, not sure how easy it's going to be for you to read, but here's a list of all the functions inside user32.dll. Perfect. Let's zoom it up here. Oh, that's kind of bleh. Yeah, you can read that. So here's all the different functions. Activate keyboard layout. Adjust Windows Rec. Adjust Windows Rec EX. Now, one that I used to use all the time was find window A. This right here used to return the window to me. I would use this in Visual Basic 4.0 or Visual Basic 3.0. No, it was 4.0, 4.1, something like that. Anyhow, this was old school programming. There was no such thing as AutoIt. It didn't exist yet. It hadn't been even thought of. I couldn't Google stuff like this. So let's see if we can't make a call to it. We have to do find window A, function MSDN. This is going to tell me what it's going to take, what I'm going to need. I'm going to need a class name, and I'm going to need a window name. And I need to know what it returns. It returns the HWND. This is the handle of the window I'm looking for. So, back to our AutoIt, I'm going to do DLL call my DLL, comma, return type is going to be HWND. I hope that's right. Comma, the function name I'm going to use is function window A, comma, uh-oh, where's the rest of my things? Function window A, and the first type I have to give it is a string. LP class name, LP window name, LP class name, LP window name. That's a string, right? Should be a string. Here, help. I love scripted. Help. DLL call. So, return type, valid types. Here we are. HWND. Okay, so this one right here is going to be a capital HWND. This is the return type. Return type. Function I'm going to call is find window A, type 1, parameter 1. So if we look over here, wait, was that it? Yeah. We know that it's going to be LP class name. Oh, sorry, this is C++. The function is going to be find window, and it's going to be a string and a string. So we're going to need to know what a string is in AutoIt. We'll come back over to the AutoIt help. We're going to look for a string, str, ANSI string. So inside my scripting window, it's going to be str, comma, and I'm going to need to find a window, so let's just use calculator. 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 Did I spell it right? C-A-L-C-U-L-A-T-O-R. Yeah, that looks right, I think. There we go. Oh, that's class name. And this is window name. Okay, so we're not going to pass that to it because that's looking for the class. We are going to, however, pass the second variable to it called calculator. Now we got to pass that into something, so we're going to say $HWND calc equals, and we're going to MSG box $HWND calc, and I got to throw the flags in there. 0, quote, save, F5, go. Didn't get it. Why didn't we get it? I guess we need the class name as well. Oh. User32.dll. Nope, that didn't work. Hold on. Let's go back into help. DLL open. Open file name example. Well, that worked. It's the same thing that I got here. My DLL equals DLL open. DLL user32. DLL call. It's going to return an int message box HWND. Oh, I've got it backwards. Alright, so the first one is the DLL, the second one is the type that it will return, the third one is the function name that I'm trying to return, the fourth one is the type, and they've got 0. So, 0. Well, that doesn't work at all. Poo. Poo, poo, poo. Did I name them right? HWD. I don't need user 32 right there. I need my actual my DLL. Return type string, some text, string, some title, int. Let's go look at this. I'm looking for class name and window name. What if I just passed one variable to it? Alright, pause break. Stopping the focus, aborting, termination. That didn't even MSG box it. Alright, so that means that this is crashing somewhere. At least with MSG box I know that I'm calling it correctly. Why not? Let's bust out calculator. We're going to bust out our window finder. I'm just going to take a little peek at it. Summary. The name is calculator. The class is calcframe. So let's try putting calcframe in here. Calcframe. Well, poo-poo to you. Am I making the call right? Let's see. Oh, that's just find window. I'm looking for find window A, aren't I? Find the handle to a window that's in use. Process, get process, test program. Sorry, lots of silence right here, because I'm a little dumbfounded as to what happened. Alright. My DLL, return type's going to be HWND. Function I'm going to call is find window A. Let's go see if did I put it on the desktop? I didn't. There we go. Let's take a copy of this. And by the way, be very careful when you're actually playing with the real DLL. You delete that sucker and you're going to cause all kinds of headaches. So what I'm doing is I'm pasting a copy of it. I'm going to open with Notepad++. It's going to be like really long. And I'm going to pause it while it loads. Okay, finally loaded up. And as you can see right here, the header part of the file, the MZ, this is on executable files. It's on COM file. Well, I don't know if it's on COM files, but any kind of executable file starts with MZ. So if you don't know the file type of something, if somebody sends you a file and it doesn't have an extension on it, you can always right-click and edit it inside like a Notepad or Notepad++. Look at the first header and do a Google search on whatever that is, and you'll know what extension is. PDFs are the same way. I had people doing that all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I'll save it as test or print or something. And they'll forget the last part of it, and there you go. They'll send it to you going, I can't get this to open. Well, what was it supposed to be? All right, down, 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 down. This is just a bunch of assembly and, well, machine code, because it is a compiled object. It's a dynamic link library, DLL. A lot of it looks like gibberish. It's going to be forever if I get that. Keep going that way. Control F to find. I'm looking for find window. And we found it. Sweet. So we'll go right a little bit. Find window A, right there. So we know that our user32 function does have a find window A. Okay, well, let's jump back over here and see what's going on. Calculator, DLL call, find window A, str, calc frame. Does this need to be in? I think that's only, yeah, that didn't work. Let's go take a look at this again. DLL call. We call the DLL the return type the function. Type 1, parameter 1. Type in, parameter in. So I truly think I've got these in the right order. But then when they show it down here, DLL call user32, the return type, get window text. It shows HWND, handle, string. Okay, see what they did here with the win wait and class notepad? That's doing the exact same thing as a find window A. Kind of. It's making a DLL call in the background. But that's going to return you the handle. This particular one, it's saying the first one's going to be a handle. Look for this. Second one's going to be a string. Look for this. Oh. Is it different when it's a class? Where are you? No, not you. You. There we go. Help. Help. Minimize. Let's see. Return by class handle. Oh, that's like an actual pointer. Window handle pointer. Double float pointer. Long string W. String Unicode characters maximum blah blah blah. So that's wrong. What if we just leave that blank like that? Didn't like it. What if you leave the second one blank like that? Nope, doesn't like that one either. Third one blank? Just the first one? Something crashed. Yeah, didn't like that at all either. How do we string something? Casting to string? No, that wouldn't cause that. Let's do this. We found what the class was earlier. Calc frame. So let's just call the first part on the class. Second part is a string, and we don't care. Didn't like it. This is starting to be a horrible video. I mean, the first part was great, but now I just kind of suck, don't I? Hold on. I got it. All right. So another thank you goes out to the community for, who is it? Matt posted back in 2012. There's no function called find window. This gentleman, he was doing the same thing, only I can tell what's wrong with his calls right here. He's doing str, which doesn't return anything. Like, you have to tell it what to return. So, find window A is what he should have used, and str for the first one should have been the class name. Str for the second one should have been the window title. So, the second part that I was looking through here is it returns, you have to specify what to pass, the ANSI respectively, blah, 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 blah. Requires parameters. The DLL returns an array. The DLL call returns an array. Duh. So, that's what I was doing wrong. I was trying to call, yeah, cool. And I think I spelled that wrong. Ooh, not Notepad++. Out. There we go. DLL call, my DLL, HWMD, find window A. This is the function that we want to call inside the user32 DLL. The first parameter that it's asking for is a string. We're going to give it calc frame. And the reason I know it wants calc frame is from the other Windows page, user32, user32.dll, find window A, Microsoft DN, MSDN. It's looking for the class name and it's looking for the window name. With those two parameters, it should return me the handle of what it's looking for. So, I got it right here, assigned to HWND calc. I did a loop, kind of like we did the first portion, HWND in HWND calc. That says that each object that I'm going to cycle through inside this array, go ahead and call it HWND. Message box that to me. So if I hit F5, it says 150DC4. Now I verified that by opening up the calculator itself, bringing over my window here, window info, target it, and it shows a handle 150DC4. So that is the window that I'm looking for. Calc frame, calculator. So we have successfully found the handle to the window that we're looking for. What if I just did 0? Would that work? MSG box, HWND, calc, and then the array 0? Yeah, cool. So right after this, we can go, because I only really want the handle. Cool. MSG box 0, comma, nothing, comma, HWND calc. By the way, this is just reinventing the wheel because AutoIt comes in here and does awesome stuff for you. They've got program functions called when, find, when, get, handle, and you pass in the title and the text of what you want the handle for. So calculator, and I'm going to call this HWND calc 2 equals, and we're just going to message box that 2. Should be same. So something that we did with a really hard DLL call is the same thing AutoIt's automatically doing. So when I talk about DLLs and functions and stuff like that, just know that AutoIt already does a really good job of putting all that stuff in there. Now, with that in mind, what else could we do? Set window pose. I mean, that's something that we could do. Control clicks. Let's do a control click. We got time, right? So like I said, each one of these little things in here is a button of some kind. but we got to find them. So let's do one. There we go. I don't know if it's always going to be instance 5. 1 is instance 5. Now let's close it. Calculator again. Let's go look at it again. Instance 5. Instance 11, 16, 3, 4, 5. All right, so 2, 1. Is that instance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? There's got to be a better way. Can we see what the text is? Visible text? Hidden text? Status bar? Cursor ID? Yeah, it's a horrible idea. Okay, we're going to skip the buttons for tonight. Let's do this. There was a request for a client game, being able to manipulate the client game via AutoIt to do some automation process. The game is called Ragnarok. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in there, take a look around, and we're going to automate some processes. I played with it a little bit last night, didn't get too far into the game, don't really know too much about what's going on, but if I find a process, then I'll make it happen. So here we go. First thing I got to do, because I found out about this, is Bitdefender has to be uninstalled. If I try and run it, you'll like this. All right, you get off to the side. Play. Come on, crash. Come on, crash. I know you're gonna. There it is. So I was searching and searching and searching for this particular thing. I don't recommend doing this because it's very dangerous, but I have Bitdefender free. It's the reason I have the free version is because it's free, and also because it's able to go inside an OST file and find an attachment to an email that's encrypted or it's zipped up and remove the file from inside the zip file through the OST. Like it's in depth and it's awesome. All right, so Bitdefender free. I'm promoting that. But for this particular case, I have to uninstall it. Going into the control panel, not the Dameware program. That's for work. All right, control panel. We're going to go into programs. Going to go find Bitdefender. Are you sure you want to uninstall this program? Yeah, I'm sure. Sorry. I promise I'll install you in like 20 seconds. Success! Do you want to restart the computer? No. By the way, if you ever have any kind of problems with your computer, restart it. All right, so Ragnarok Online. Play. Yay. I agree. Some very lewd anime, by the way. Sure, Chaos, we'll go in there. Sure, looks like a good character. You guys are probably getting blasted by that sound right now. There we go. Okay, so the sound's off. Something I was doing the other day was I was just getting this little guy to run around, right? So something I realized is this program runs under UAC, User Access Control, CMD. I explained this, I think, in one of my last ones, but anytime you have this pop-up where you have to give it permission to write to your computer, stuff happens, like crashes. You're not able to touch those programs by normal means. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to close down AutoIt. Do you want to save? No. All right, we're going to close down AutoIt, script it, and I'm going to Control Shift right click and run as administrator. This will allow the program to touch the program that's running under UAC. We're going to launch Ragnarok again. Yes. Play, and I'm going to pause it for just a second while I log back in. Okay, we are back. So one of the questions that was asked of me is, could you automate this to be a hunting bot or to do a collecting bot, stuff like that? The answer is yes. One of the hard things is this has a 3-dimensional rotation and it's got this scrolly stuff in it. So what's going to happen is, oops, I accidentally clicked on that guy. Yes, absolutely. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to reset that. Now I've already done this over here. And there was a motorcycle just went by. What I do is I come in first off and I just sleep for about 2.5 seconds. I set my mouse to, oh wait, I don't sleep there. That's a variable. So I'm setting my sleep time to 2.5 seconds. That's about the time it takes me to travel from the center of the screen to any one of the corners that I clicked. And I'm actually going to stick that up to about 3 seconds. So 3 seconds. Now, the starting point I have is just in front of this moose right here. As you can see, there's little like grid lines. Makes our job a lot easier when automating. So the place that I'm starting is right in front, and I went through and then just found the places where I'm going to click. The first thing I want to do is I want to do a double right click on the screen. All right, and what this does, it resets it to center. So I guess this is north. It's refacing center. The second thing you want to do is you want to zoom out like that. And that's by scrolling the mouse wheel up. Hopefully I don't click that guy. All right. The second one is mouse up for, let's say 50. 50 clicks, mouse up, sleep for about a second, and then we're going to click on areas. And again, this was just me testing last night, trying to figure out where everything was clicking at. So I'm going to mess this up, zoom in, and we're going to run this, and you'll see what it does. Let's actually have him say something instead of just randomness. This is awesome. Awesome. There we go. So I'm going to travel for a little bit, say the word awesome, and run all the way back. Here we go. Double clicks, zooms out, click, and off he goes. First point, second point, third point, fourth point, fifth point. Says he didn't say this is awesome, did it? Oh, it's because I didn't hit enter first, and I didn't hit enter afterwards. So it just sent a whole bunch of keyboard commands. And he returned to the moose. So let's do this. Send, enter. There we go. This is awesome. Enter. Try it again. He clicks over here. Uh-oh. There's a little bit of a delay there. I saw it. Oh, he's good. He's on the right path. Goes to that exact same spot. This is awesome. He said it. I saw it. And back to the moose. So, proof of concept, yes, you can manipulate and touch and run and all kinds of good stuff with the interface. You have to run as administrator. Control, shift, right click. So if you compile your program, you're going to have to compile it and put a notice on there to run as administrator, or get it to trigger the user access controls somehow. That way you can manipulate the program. Give me a little bit to actually play the game, and we're going to come back and I'll see if I can't automate something like a hunter and gatherer, something like that. Got to figure out how to make money first. I mean, I just started the game. All right. Okay, so this game is really hard to automate. I've gone through, did a couple of little quests, and I'm sitting here supposed to be collecting the bunnies and all that. Supposed to collect the bunnies, get some kind of carrot, collect some jellies, get some kind of jelly stuff, and return it all. And just from what I've seen, the normal process of trying to click, find pixels, click, find pixels, even if you had a set path that you were going around, once you attack something, you would be off that set path. And there's no way to get back to like a specific place. The only thing I could think of is finding what your character's position is. Here, we'll do return to game. That's not what I wanted. Options, return to last save point. There we go. So I did find a neat little command called pose, position, status. Oh, ouch. I'll have to find it again. But it gives the XY coordinates of the position. The only thing I can think of is to like read off your current position on a map and then go that many clicks to the left or to the right, up or down from you. That could possibly be how to get there. It'd be a very slow process. Plus, if something were in your way like that, you'd end up clicking on them and it doesn't really work. So what I was trying to do is actually jump in and read the memory. Well, as you can see, here, not this part. This first part, I include memory.au3, ragproc equals process list ragexe.exe. This is the actual process name. And I found that by CMD Control Shift Enter. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah. By the way, that happens every time you're close program. So if you do task list, again, you have to be on Pro. You can look through here and find out the actual process list. So looking once again, I now have ragexe.exe. I agree. Oh, I'm going to pause it while I'm logging in. All right. So. Sorry, guys. It's really late. I've been trying to mess with the script for a little while. Let's go back into Google. Let's see. There's functions. What did I call it? What was the search? It was Ragnarok keyboard shortcuts. Basic controls. Position. Switches the position characters, party names. That's font. There we go, Navi. No, it's not Navi. Let me pause while I find it. There we go. It's called where. So on here, if I just type in where, it tells me the map name and the coordinates. So right now I'm at 130 and 105. If I go one to the left and I do it again, 129, 105. There's got to be a way to read off those coordinates and say I want to move to this coordinate or something like that. So I'm going to look into it and research it a little bit more. I'm going to make another tutorial over this once I have it figured out. But for tonight, I'm going to call it. This has been a long video, long night, and just keep up the good work that you guys do and keep bringing me requests. Oh, like and subscribe and all that good YouTube stuff. Bye.